information so that when people approached you all as county and state and city officials, that you had some answers. So what I did with the brochure is I did kind of a question and the answer, a question and the answer. And the questions were all kind of centered on what people have been asking most commonly about the proposal. So that's basically the format of the brochure. And I wanted feedback from you all in terms of what you think. Are there questions on here that have been missed? Is there something else you think should be included that's not? Does it seem, is it pretty self-explanatory? I'm happy to share that with the audience as well.
I did put that brochure in your packets, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right behind.
Obviously, it's not quite ready for publication yet because we still have to say like who's paying for it, and that's another question that I had for you all. Is in the past there was a political action committee put together that the municipalities paid into. I think the county paid into it. I've been doing some tracking down, and there is some money that's left over from the last election. There's a CD in the amount of $2,000, and then there's $331 in a checking account. And I've talked with Candy about this a little bit. We've communicated about it. I need that committee that was in charge of that before to get together and vote to give me and whoever else is on the committee power to access those funds. Because right now, they're in First State Bank and they're under those people's names. So I have contacted those people and asked them, because the bank needs a resolution in order to access those funds. I guess my question to you all is, what is your expectation in terms of wanting PCED's help in helping to support? Obviously, this brochure is just educational. It's not necessarily advocacy, because nowhere on it does it say vote for.
Right.
What was your question, Tracy?
My question is, what are the expectations of the town in terms of PCED helping to educate or?
We need their help badly.
I'll just comment, the board of directors did authorize Tracy to expend effort and time on behalf of the project, but certainly can't be done alone just by PCD, just by Tracy. So from our standpoint, PCD is certainly willing to help, wants to assist the town, the county with the initiative, but it can't be only PCED. And then the flip side of that coin is if it doesn't pass, we certainly as an organization don't want to be judged by that outcome. So we're here to help. We've authorized Tracy to spend time to do so, but it can't just be PCED. It's got to be more than that.
Were you still thinking yard signs?
Yeah, so I've visited with the Parks and Rec committee, and so the things that we've talked about were yard signs, we've talked about brochures, we've talked about social media campaign. I've also looked into that. Linda Fabian was the administrator of the Peninsula Platte County social media campaign before, so she was going to change the admin of that to whoever the new committee becomes. And then we also talked a little bit at our executive meeting the other day at PCED about possibly doing something like at the Oktoberfest coming up at the end of September. So trying to hit some of the gatherings and the activities to help, get the word out, educate people, help people make a decision.
So as for participation, are you looking for monetary to help with these advertising expenses, signs to whatever? I was just
Whatever the
curious.
town, I mean, I honestly, I feel like it's probably more of a personnel and a get out the message. I don't know monetarily if that's truly the need. Tracy probably feels more able to answer that, but it really, I think, November 7th is not that very far away. And I don't know honestly that there's a whole lot of awareness about this right now. And I will say the awareness that I'm familiar with isn't necessarily positive towards this. So that honestly concerns me that that's the message that I think that I'm hearing right now, is that there's people who are already vocally opposing it.
The rec center.
I'm not sure it's just that. I think there's a fairly large constituency of anti-tax, no taxes good people that are kind of running with that message. So I think it's more just getting the message out there and creating the awareness. And if that means additional funds, I can't speak to that, but I think it's going to take a committee of people and a concerted plan and effort to do that, or, you know,
I don't know at this point really if we do need more money. I looked at the budget from what they spent before, and it looked to me like they spent about $2,000, and so we have 2,300 now. So I think it just depends on what you spend your money on and priorities and what we think will be the, you know, the biggest bang for the buck. I have talked to Kent Smith about being on the radio, having some information on the radio as well. So, you know, again, if we choose it to be ads, that costs money. He does interview me periodically, so we can talk about that for free. But if we choose to do ads, then that'll be some money too.
And Mayor, I'm absolutely willing to do whatever I can to help. And I confirmed with Malcolm that I'm good to be, you know, being paid by, you know, the taxpayers of Wheatland, but he said I can be on that Pennies for Platte County committee. I just, because I was like, well, what if I'm on count time? And Malcolm said I was good, you know, I think as long as I'm not saying vote yes or no, but I will do whatever, Tracy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And I think you were on it before, weren't you, Candy?
Yes, but I don't remember doing too much. But I remember like Merlin being out at fair and all that kind of stuff and having a booth and maybe handing out some brochures, but
I know in years past, the county commissioner came and spoke to like Lions Club and Kiwanis. They had a get together at Windy Peaks, and again, it was all just informational. It wasn't lobbying, it wasn't arm twisting, it was basically talking about what the money was being used for and how it benefited the citizens. Or the type of events that were planned and, you know, presented. At least that's the 2018 campaign. I can remember. Ones prior to that, I don't really remember.
This is a great tool right here whenever it's ready for public consumption. This would be handy for myself, just getting asked. And once you finalize this, that fly-in, have a bunch up there for that free breakfast.
In Glendo?
Here.
Saturday the 26th, fly in.
Oh, okay.
Give it to him, he'll fly by and drop them out of the air.
I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, but I mean, there's usually a big crowd
Yeah, I
up
think
there. That's one place to.
decent.
Yeah, so any of those kind of events that I think that would be great.
All they're allowed to drop the flying is candy. I think all they're allowed to drop is candy.
Oh, yeah.
according to who? According to who?
I don't know, that's all they've ever done in the past. There's rules about jettisoning things from aircraft. You're supposed to follow it.
Okay, well, I'll visit with Candy some more. And then my last thing is the request from PCED for the sewer backup reimbursement. Do they have this information?
Yes, they have.
In the amount of $420.33.
I did put some additional information on past sewer claim. on the, in front of you just this evening.
So as I understand this, it was, the plumber didn't find anything wrong on your side.
Right.
But it was on the city side.
Right.
So
So-
why was it denied?
I don't know.
This wasn't, as according to LGLP, I think it wasn't it the fault of an employee of the town of Wheeling. You know, it wasn't, they didn't bill. LGLP,
Denies everything, you just might as well, they just deny everything. Besides that, I think we have $1,000 deductible or.
it says it's not caused by the negligence of a public employee.
So the insurance is,
Yeah, the insurance denied it.
okay. Yeah.
Right, so they called the city came, they found the blockage in the city line. They cleared that, but of course, TC Edwards had already been, you know, they had come and done the initial, because we thought it was in our line. They ran it, they cleared out to the city line, it was clear, so. But then we still get the bill for what they did, checking ours.
So basically our insurance doesn't want to pay it, so it would come to us.
That's pretty typical.
And we have $1,000 deductible, they wouldn't have paid it either.
Right, yeah. So, well, I'm just gonna go ahead
But
and
it
make the
didn't
motion
back
that we
up
pay
in the
this.
basement, Tracy.
I'm sorry, what?
It didn't back up into the basement of the building.
It did, but it didn't do any damage, so to speak.
Backed up into the sinks and they caught it before it flowed over and
For the last time,
Yeah, he called right away, and yeah, it was up in the sinks, but it didn't damage flooring or anything.
One of the renters.
One of the renters, the downstairs room.
Okay, well, seeing that was on our side of it, even though the insurance is gonna approve it, I'll make the motion that we pay the $420.33.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
So Mayor, I do just want to make a little bit of clarification on this sewer claims spreadsheet that we gave you. There was a previous request for the same thing, and you guys did not pay that. So I'm just letting you know that was, there on 9th Street. And the LGLP denied it, was the same type of issue. And you guys did not pay that one, and you recommended a sewer backflow preventer.
That was kind of responsibility, well, it wasn't my responsibility, but that was from the restaurant, wasn't it?
It would, I don't know that was ever determined, but it was the quilt whisperer that was in.
Right.
It was,
But it was
their
because
fault.
of our sewer main.
It was the same type of, it was our sewer main in that instance too. And we did deny that one. We didn't pay him.
you don't have it on there, but when was the claim that we took care of the carpet of this apartment before?
If they,
10 years ago, I think.
10 years ago, is that where it is here?
we didn't have there was no damage done, so no claim was put in. For PCD building,
Yeah, no, there was. Sure, just for,
there was no damage, so no LP claim was filed.
I remember flooded down back basement.
And I'm not saying that we should or shouldn't, I'm just letting you know what we previously have done, because we may hear back.
Yeah, but for some reason I thought that had to do something with grease.
I
And
think
it wasn't really
we,
our
So it's
our fault.
So I question nothing of this your fault.
But either is, if you wanted.
Well, they said that
This
the
one-
blockage was on our side though.
Right?
Well, on that one, the blockage was from the grease in our main.
There has been an issue. You're right.
But this one's blockage on our line.
Well, the other one was blockage on our line too. But it did come from the neighboring restaurant, but it was still in our line. And I'm just educating you guys on what previously we had decided.
Did the restaurant have a grease trap in there?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, there was.
I did notice this happened on Monday morning, the first, May 1st. Is that the date, right? 8 a.m.
Oh, no, it happened like later in the afternoon, I think. I'm trying to remember right.
Or I was looking at the date. I was trying to coincide with our entourage of RVs down the road. The tow station. Date and time of loss, May 1st, 8 p.m.
Yeah, I think it was at night.
Not that was it. It had its problems on the top end. Goodness, it's really.
I think we have a motion and a second. So all in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry.
Thank you very much.
I did it, it was two. The mayor
Who
had to
did
break the tie.
second that motion?
Really did.
Lily did? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think it was 2-2, and he had to break the tie when I had the claim.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think you're right, it was.
Mhm.
So Tracy, do we pay PCD or do we pay TC Edwards?
I've already paid TC Edwards, so
Okay.
you pay TCD. It would be a reimbursement.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we have exhausted the agenda under petitions, memorial proclamations, and public comments. Is there other public comment at this time?
Yes. We kind of double edge. One, in here with a bit of a complaint, and two, questions.
Go to the podium so then the camera.
Oh, yes,
Sorry,
absolutely.
thanks, George.
Nope, you're good. My bad.
No, you're good.
So it's kind of one of the similar issues we've had multiple times. I feel that don't know exactly what it is. I'm a bit confused about it. Why there seems to be some tension, specifically between Candy and I for some reason. I got a phone call today while I was with another client. I wasn't able to answer a call from her cell phone, but I did answer the next one because I figured double call, probably emergency protocol. It was not an emergency. In our discussion, which if you guys would care to listen, for context, I do have the recording because we do record all calls, which we said quite a while ago. About updates for the computer for the meetings. And then also, which I'd also received a ticket this morning, which I was not able to update by the time I got the phone call. And also a question about another ticket that was in for a laptop for the streets department, which I had been under the impression that the issue was resolved. Ticket was put in just to call in, nothing else. Had to request a phone number, talk to him, told him what I was gonna do, let him know if we had more issues to reach back out to me and let me know. And I never heard anything, so I assumed it was good, normal protocol for us. To which I was informed it was not resolved. And my statement back was, if I'm not informed of a problem, don't know there's a problem, and a similar scenario, exactly the same scenarios we've had in the past, to which I was met with pretty decent aggressiveness of, are we really gonna do this again, you and I? And I find that pretty unprofessional. I feel that my statement of, if I don't know there's a problem, if I'm not informed there's a problem, I don't know there's a problem. I feel that's very fair. I felt that what I got back out of that was very unfair. So, one, I have a complaint about the unprofessionalism, and two, I'm curious as to what we can do to resolve the problem. If there's something that I've done that's upset the town, or whether or not we have some sort of personal problem that needs to be addressed and someone else needs to be the main point of contact for our contract, or what it is that both sides need to do. Because I personally don't want it to continue. I just fix computers, simple man. I don't feel like I asked much, in return. I just need to know what's broken, if it's still broken, if it's not broken. It's very, a very valid point to add is, I did add a private note and close the ticket, which doesn't get emailed out. That's very, very normal. We do it for all of our clients. We made contact with the person that has the problem and talk to them. We don't necessarily put an entire synopsis, back to the person that originally opened the ticket, because we've talked to the person that actually has the problem, and they're aware that if they have continued problems, just to reach back out, which was agreed upon. And so I'm a bit confused as to how we end up back at this spot continuously. I feel like it's a reoccurring problem. There's been very few tickets open, some hardware, and they generally get resolved relatively quick. The 3 tickets that were for update, that wanted updates on, one I thought was resolved. The other one I always do before the meeting, and the other one before that was done before I received the phone call today. It was a ticket that was submitted on Friday. It was done well within a business day and a half of working hours. So I'm just confused as to where the aggressiveness is coming from, and if there's something that I need to do to fix it, if I'm not doing something that's satisfying the contract. And like I said, if you guys would like to listen to the phone call, I do have it.
So, Candy,
Yeah.
so what's the issue?
Probably multiple issues. I don't know if this is, I would probably like to talk to you guys. I don't know. I guess I would like to say about his unprofessionalism also. I don't know about continuing the relationship, because the point of contact does need to be me. And if he cannot work with me, then maybe we start looking elsewhere, is my recommendation.
I would like to add that the contract is held with the council as at the town level. I feel like there could be a separate point of contact. There could be other ways to resolve this. I don't know that there needs to be a parting of the ways. I am more than happy to continue providing IT services. I just don't want this issue to continue being an issue. And honestly, I'm quite confused about it.
I don't know that we're happy with the service we're receiving. And if you guys want to be his point of contact, that's up to you. But the employees do come to me when the issues are not handled. And I feel that's part of my job.
Yeah, well, and yes, respectfully, we are the governing body of the town of Wheeland, and ultimately, we do hold a contract with you, but I don't think there's any of us up here that wouldn't say the original or the first point of contact is right there, because that's the day-to-day operations of what we do. We're once a month, and maybe some sidebar discussions, but that's the day-to-day operations right there, so.
Which I completely understand is why I'm here to hopefully resolve that. But at the same time, I've said it before, the issues don't get brought up. I get asked for updates, so don't ever specifically say that we are unhappy with the performance. It gets to a point like this, and then there's just anger and aggressiveness. It's never, we're unhappy with the service, we don't feel that you're providing timely service. I get asked questions about things, but never get told specifically that there's a problem. I have, many other clients, and we have problems too, but we work through them and talk. I don't have this issue with any of our other clients, and everybody gets treated the same. I don't treat anybody any different. Tickets come first come, first serve. Contracts are the most important to us. I've had to turn away plenty of work because I'm busy enough that I need to keep focus on the contracts. I personally would like to resolve whatever issues there are. But I honestly respect, if the town as a whole feels that it's not the best fit, then that is just strictly what it is. I feel that we have, a lot to offer. Apparently there's problems that I just don't necessarily know what they are. I have to be, it's just like I said with You know, I don't know there's a problem unless I'm told specifically there's a problem. I wish that I could read minds, but if I say, get approached and asked to come to the meeting, or even, a workshop or something to say, hey, we have a lot of concerns, can we address them? I have other clients that's how that's handled. I get asked to come to the meeting and we talk about it, we come up with a plan and we work through it. I don't know that I've ever been told or asked to work through any of the problems. There's just problems, and they end up getting, I don't know that ignored is the right word, but we had problems a while back and I sent a response and all I got back was a thank you. No effort to work through it in any way, shape, or form. It was just a thank you. I responded to what was given to me, and then it was it. And I copied you guys on that. I don't know if you got it in your email, but my response was copied to you guys. I don't know that it was everybody. That was during the changing of seats and whatnot, but I've been doing IT for the town for a long time. I've been through 3 clerks, multiple mayors, and up until the last few years, never had any issues. I don't have similar issues with other clients, small or large. This has just been a repeating topic that I would preferably like to solve, rather than part ways. And I'm not saying that because I, financially have to have it. I'm not trying to save myself. I actually mean it. I wouldn't have just invested my own personal money to buy WildLogic back if I intended on providing poor service and losing clients. I want to grow it. I actually just offered a job to somebody today to, hopefully alleviate a little bit of the slowness that's happened that I've had complaints from other clients about. They're supposed to start the 1st, but I don't think that the way that it's been approached has been appropriate for the situations. It's always been quite aggressive rather than sit down and talk. And personally, I don't appreciate that. There's times I get just as frustrated too. I feel like my manner, in our phone call until it got escalated was, I think, very reasonable. I feel it's a reasonable thing to say that I didn't know. If I don't know there's a problem, I don't know that I need to fix it still. I think that was very reasonable. I don't think that I pushed or was out of line, but I think the response that I got back was at minimum a little bit out of line. So.
Well, I thank you for airing your concerns, and at this point, we will have a discussion and figure out which direction we're gonna go, and, that's a potential of parting ways or continuing on or having a roundtable get together and changing expectations or scope of the contract, or, I don't, unless anybody's prepared to make a decision right now, I think that's the best we can do.
I didn't expect that.
I thank you for, taking the time to come talk to us and airing your concerns, and we will deal with it. I appreciate it.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys for your time.
Is there any other public comment at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to unfinished business, item number 1, which is the FTO policy with Chief Willetson.
So the last time we talked about this, you wanted me to reach out to some other departments and find out what type of incentive they were offered to FTOs in their agencies. So I did get some responses back. I just sent it out statewide just to see what I get. So right now we're offering, what we have been giving our guys who are FTOs is after a phase, which is 3 weeks. So that'd be 12 shifts. So 12-hour days, 12 shifts. It's one phase of the FTO. So after they complete that phase, they were eligible for 1 day off. That was paid. It's called an FTO day, kind of like a personal day. So looking through what I got back, we're in line with Torrington and Douglas. They're offering 1 extra hour of pay per day that they're training, which equals out to the same pay that we'd be offering. We just had the day off in there also. Casper Mills, they offer an hour of overtime or comp day per day of training, which would be a little bit more than what we are. There's some that are quite a bit higher than what we pay. And just me roughly figuring it up. So if we had an officer making $25 an hour, he would get it'd be like $300 that we'd be paying out for his day off. They're in different pay ranges, so I just use $25 just kind of. Some places are offering 10 cents to 25 cents, which gets more expensive. Just from what I found and what we've been offering, I don't think it's too out of line for what other departments are offering or giving to their FTOs. They also offer that to a lot of their trainers, firearms instructors, taser instructors. I know Councilman Matson had brought up the concern of giving a day off if that village is into a crunch of not being able to cover the street. It never has. The guys realize that if we don't have the coverage, they don't ask for it. I'm not going to give it to them that day.
Mayor, I did not include in there a copy of the current policy. Have Phil go grab that quickly so you guys can see it.
What's the window of time you have to use that? When they have to keep doing a year or?
Yeah, we try to keep it in that physical year, so we're not trying to carry over stuff and running records.
And do you track that or does the town?
I always have. I wasn't aware that the town was not aware of this until I submitted it on a pay stub. Learned that it didn't sound like it had ever been approved through you guys. That's where that policy, I wrote up something real quick to try getting it over to you so we can get it approved. That's what we need. I might be able to track it easier. I've been coming up with a spreadsheet for our timesheets where it'd be easy to add in there where it can be tracked, where when they submitted it, it can be seen on there, be seen being subtracted or.
It appears the majority of the departments just cash it out. Maybe that's easier to
Yeah,
counting and pay than trying to keep track of who's got a comp time and if you've done in a year and or something. Yeah. Just have it in the paycheck instead of, which I'm sure sometimes a day off day too holds its value too, I'm sure. But I was just kind of seeing what you provided here. That's the majority of
yeah, and you're right. Yeah, mostly they pay it out.
the money.
And it is a extra benefit of having that day off where you can use that along with your days off and if you go do something. So that's always a plus to it.
I think a big part of it too was just the tracking. So we're aware and so for our audit and all of that, so we have.
And that's where I would think it'd be easier just to be it in the paycheck.
So I don't, we have an approved policy. There.
Okay.
The policy isn't approved, right?
No.
This is just what we were following.
So you said in 3 weeks, you'd basically get 12 shifts, 12-hour shifts,
Yeah,
or 144 hours worked, okay.
Does one training officer do all 3 phases?
no, it's separated so they get a different aspect from different officers.
So no, one training officer doesn't get 3 personal
The only
days.
way that would happen is if we're out of FTOs, and that has happened in the past, we're just trying to replace people. But now we try to keep up with different trainers constantly.
No, makes sense.
So a regular monthly paycheck is based on how many hours worked in your world. I know what it is in the other world, but what about your world?
They're hourly.
They're hourly. In my world, I'm salary, but they're hourly.
Yeah, so you're based off of what, like 173.4 or whatever hours worked in a month,
They're 168 is what we try to schedule them for.
roughly? Okay, I'm just trying to differentiate what. And you said based off $25 an hour, it's a $300 bonus to get that day off, roughly.
Yes.
That doesn't include benefits, correct?
What's that?
That doesn't include benefits, right? Just the day off, just the hours.
Was that $300? Is that one of the
So
highest in this, on this comparison?
Hours, not
What's that?
Are we about the highest?
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
just
Based on
Yeah,
this
I was
comparison?
just coming up with some numbers to compare.
Seems pretty healthy.
$40. So I was trying 125, 175 per week would be 225.
Do you have field training going on now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So on the Cheyenne Police Department, where it says they're paid extra $125 per month, is that just the months they're training?
Nope, that's just on top of their pay, they get an extra $125 for being an FTO a month.
Do you have any suggestions, or do you like the way it is, or after you found out what it is around the state?
I like how it is. I don't think it's out of line with other agencies. I mean, some of them are paying more, but there's several that are very similar. And two of our closest agencies are doing exactly the same, but we get the day off. So I like how it is. I don't think we're giving too much. It's something we have to have.
Yeah.
It is stressful. I did FTO for a long time. It's actually one of the reasons I left when I went to the sheriff's office. I was burned out and I couldn't take being trained anymore.
I guess I'm open to keeping it the same, or any suggestions. I do think maybe there should be some checks and balances and be tied in with have a pair of candy over here, two people tracking it, so we're not losing comp times or what you're doing. Just I think it'd be easier, probably easier on you too, and having another.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That would just be my
completely.
suggestion.
That's why it wasn't hidden. I put it in there. Then I learned that it's like
Yeah.
they didn't know about it. So, no, I'm not wanting to hide anything.
No, I'm just saying, just going forward. Yeah. Hey, I forgot. Call over here, or if they see it come in, then they can call you. Everybody's on the same page, maybe. There isn't any questions.
And I think if we leave it how it is, we need to make a motion to accept it. So we can add it to their policy.
He's right, it kind of hits the middle of the road. There are some that are quite a bit more, and there's some that are significantly less, but the law of averages, it's kind of right in line, honestly, dollar amount. And then listening to him talk about the stress issue, I mean, I don't know that we want to drastically change anything. Me personally, I don't see a need to drastically change anything. And I'm not the best keyboard warrior, but my calculator's telling me that we're about the middle of the pack, so. So you would like us, if it's agreeable to the council, or if I would entertain the motion if they're so moved, to make it formal to be able to put in the personnel handbook so that it's not just kind of guidance, it's an actual.
Maybe accept as presented.
So that is 1 day of PTO per phase.
It should be. If we have all the FTOs.
One FTO day.
There could be times where, it might be two because we don't have the FTOs.
No, I just meant the policy, you're gonna
Yeah,
make
section
it 1
4.
PTO per phase.
Yep.
Now, someone might train 2 phases.
Okay.
That's what I was getting at.
Oh, and it even says it'll be used in the same year. That section 4 is what you're looking at. I mean, that's perfect. The training officers will receive 1 day for each full phase of training they complete. And it'll be used in the same way as a personal day in the same calendar year that the FTO phase training occurred.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, and then unless you want to, and then add to it in conjunction with coinciding with the treasurer, or work with the town on tracking it.
With my new timesheet, I'll be able to add it on there easily and be able to figure that out.
That's a motion.
I was gonna say, sir, you turned that into a motion?
Second is motion.
Yeah.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Say it again.
There's a long way, it's a long way to get it right there.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
All right, unfinished business item number 2, ordinance number 841, which is, Councilman Madsen so chooses to take it off the table, would be a third and final reading of ordinance 841.
Yeah, I move we take from the table the third and final reading that was tabled by myself and bring it back up for discussion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of removing it off the table, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Now we have ordinance 841 up for third and final reading. For the purpose of discussion, I would entertain a motion.
So moved. Well, with any additional changes.
Yes. So do I need to wait for the rest of
No,
Second it?
you don't want to make a motion.
Yeah, say that way because I think that might add something. This is
In front of you is a copy of the ordinance as it was approved on second reading, plus
The red
second
line.
sheet has suggested changes for third and final reading. We took into account the public input that was provided at the last meeting before it was tabled, plus additional research.
And after Candy had printed this, I inquired about a number 9, something to the effect where there is a fine or a penalty for using of water hydrants without proper authorization. Either some of our issues we have with things coming down to the park and filling without having a meter put on or approved or I know the city of Casper just established a penalty of $300 for those who use water hydrants without hooking it up properly. So I know we've had some issues like that.
So would that,
I do, yes, I don't know if it goes here
I
or
guess,
somewhere else.
does that, are we just talking about fire hydrants?
Water hydrant.
Any water hydrants, so say at the park where somebody hooks up and fills up their camper, runs their hose for 30 feet and hooks up their camper?
Yeah,
I mean, are we talking about that also?
I think we'd like to not have that happen or the
Yep.
big portable tanks stock tanks that are filled up and mainly you gotta be
This
pretty.
gives us a
I mean,
little,
most ones that want to use the fire hydrants either call here the fire chief to get approval whether they gotta fill up a huge water tank or buy the water. But yeah, there is abuse of the hand water hydrants filling.
and the wording here is, any unauthorized use of a water hydrant without hooking it up properly will be subject to a $300 penalty. Or is it $750?
Will be subject up to a $750 fine.
Sure. I stole the language from Casper, but yeah, I think all our ordinances say up to $750.
Up to $750.
So you'd just make number 9, any unauthorized use of a water hydrant without hooking it up properly will be subject up to $750 fine.
We're adding 9.
Oh, we're adding 9.
Yes, it's not, it was an after.
Okay.
And what did, I'm sorry, Dick, did we need to have authorization or approval in there too? Or anything?
Any unauthorized use
Oh,
of
there you
a
go.
water
Okay.
hydrant
Gotcha.
without hooking up properly will be subject up to a $750 fine.
Cities.
What is hooking it properly?
I think you better get permission.
Just-
I don't know.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's like I said, we've had abuse of
Without-
large amounts.
Any unauthorized use, so.
Of a water hydrant, how about taking out without hooking it up properly? If we just said any unauthorized use
Of a
of a
water
water
hydrant.
hydrant will be subject to
Yeah.
and
That's
take
what I was
out.
wondering, if they're ready
But
to.
to me, it sounds like you can do it if you do it right.
Yeah.
No, it's not it's
Yeah.
unauthorized.
If we just take out,
Any unauthorized use of water hydrant will be subject up to a
So it's filling a
$750.
stock tank down there. If Rick finds him, ask him, are you authorized? And
Right.
they hooked it up properly. It's not legal.
Yeah.
that's good.
It's a difference.
Legal for me.
Will there be a sign posted on it? Is there a sign? Is that no unauthorized use?
Well, we would have to post it on all our hydrants, all our cross street hydrants, I mean, everywhere. So, we did take out the one that was at the campsite, that hydrant's no longer there.
Okay.
But they're running hoses clear across the park to hook up. And we've had them hook up to our hydrants, our fire hydrants
For bulk.
for bulk.
Yep.
Yeah,
Really?
we've caught them doing that, yes.
I think I got out of town.
Oh,
Right,
Yeah.
right out there by
Okay.
Jamie Schindler's Mill.
Thank you.
In the corner.
How did you get it? Well, I guess you could just
They're
do it
standard.
with a
Yeah.
big ass.
Is it sold water to people hooking up to fire hydrants still before having to water activated on the interstate? 'Cause I remember they were hooking up there.
Yeah, we
Across from
So we
Doug's.
cut back on some of these.
that's the bulk water purchase.
Also,
Yeah, the monthly service charge.
Yeah.
Raised on
raised, yeah,
gallons.
right. That's smart.
Yeah, I think with the first go around, cut that service fee till they get used to it, and then next time we have to, it goes up. And it doesn't hit so much.
That's what you did.
Get used to it.
So are we at 9 by motion?
You haven't made a motion, so if you're gonna make a motion, you need to move to
As amended.
as amended, including
All of it.
number 9. Okay,
Make a motion to approve third and final reading of ordinance 841 with noted changes in addition to line item number 9.
any unauthorized use of a water hydrant will be subject up to a $750 fine.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry.
Yeah, I kept
Me too.
New business, item number 1 is resolution number 11, 2023. It's a resolution in support of an application for a level 3 construction project for the Black Mountain Water Storage Tank. You have resolution in front of you.
We're going to the Wyoming Water Development Commission with a grant for 67% of the project.
Two-thirds is better than no thirds.
If they approve that, how much would that be for us?
So
I ask, I don't have a calculator.
right, seems about 3 million, right around there. And that gives it a special purpose tax goes through, that's what we would use that for. So if you can add it real quick or subtract in your mind, the total project is $6,267,000. Construction's $5,785,000. And I already received a grant for the engineering from the select board. Engineering's taken care of on that one.
Done 2 in a row.
Okay, my turn. Make a motion on resolution 11-2023, authorizing submission of the Wyoming Water Commission Level 3 construction funding application on behalf of the governing body for the town of Wheatland for the replacement of the Black Mountain water storage tank.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Moving on to the change order agreement for the South Street Underground Phase 2 with Bar Engineering.
As you know, the electric project down Black Mountain continues on. So we've spent all of our engineering money, so this is an estimate to get us hopefully through the end of the project.
Same company.
Same company, yes.
Engineers, it's not the
Yeah, this is not for the
contract.
contractor.
Okay.
This is the engineering firm.
So does that mean I gotta do another one in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just keep a hook, Willie.
Okay.
Keep it rolling, Willie.
Make a motion for change order to agreement of South Street Underground Phase 2.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. And it looks like we have executive session scheduled. So I would entertain a motion to leave the regular meeting and start executive session when people clear out.
For litigation purposes on the airport. So that goes-
Okay, executive session for litigation purposes on the airport.
Second.